Okay, that was on. Hi cameras, sorry my eyes going to be alternating between the two cameras because I don't know which one's coming out best. Paul Murphy and YouTube video 70 today. I'm going to be reading some of the Fabbles, the solo years, which is my taking the Ruttles up the next step. The Ruttles, of course, famously parodied and spoofed the Beatles from when it was 60 up to 69, 70. And this takes the Beatles' solo careers. Well, not the Beatles, but the Fabbles. Solo careers, 69, 70. That's enough of my fluffering on here. And I'm just diving in at random. Okay, so 22nd of July, I guess this will be 71. Today's filming on the Imogen film starts with one of the most, stroke the only, memorable sequence in Jim and Nunu's entire movie-making career, as the couple are filmed walking slowly, hand in hand, eyes locked onto each other through their mist-covered estate and falling into the lake. "Help! I can't swim!" cries Nunu. "We'll be right there," reply the camera crew, hoofing it quick in the other direction. This footage is used to accompany the song "Oh My Soggy Love" in the finished film. You're really going to need to know your Beatles and solo Beatles stuff in order to get some of these references. Now, just stood on the amplifier cable, in case you're wondering. Is he shrinking one leg at a time? Later, the filming shifts to the mansion's all-white music room, where Jim is filmed sitting at his white piano singing Imogen, whilst Nunu goes around opening all the shutters, letting in the 3,000 pigeons that sleep in the annex above, thus showing viewers why the room is all white. In a wonderfully evocative and poetic climax, Jim sings the last words and sits quietly as the final notes of the song fade away, with pigeon shit dripping down his forehead. In the evening, shooting moves to the games room, where Nunu is filmed playing pool with Jim. Eventually she gives up and uses a cue instead. 22nd of July. Still, in the New York State Supreme Court, Not Her Songs Limited. That's a spoof on Northern Songs Limited. I know you know. And Jim Pall Music, which is a spoof on Mac Len. Do I have to buy out all the spoofs? Who amongst you Beatles buffs out there gets all the little resonances? Huh? Inc. lodged suit for $50,000 in actual damages and $1 million in punitive damages against Pall. Pall in this book is spelled P-A-L-L, as in Paul Bearer. Paul McCartney and the Pall Bearers from the 1969 Paul Was Dead campaign. And lender, charging that the defendants had violated an exclusive rights agreement when the couple collaborated on Another Day slagging off the Fabs. "Is it your contention that only Paul should write the songs?" asked Judge Harold Frondbutter. "No, it is our contention that neither of them should," reply the plaintiffs on behalf of DJs worldwide. 23rd of July, the last day of the Ascot filming for Imogen, sees Jim and Nunu lowering the social boundaries. First, Nunu is filmed in bed, while Jim is filmed sitting on the toilet. This is distressing for Claudio, who was already sitting on it. The resulting double-decker clogs the toilet and the film crew have to use the bushes for the rest of the day. "Where's Pete Worst when you need him?" mutters Jim. Okay, so Claudio was the homeless guy that was living in the grounds at Tittenhurst Park, you know. Spoofed in this book as Tittenhurst Park, in case you haven't got the other videos. And Pete Worst is obviously a parody on Pete Best, you know. 24th of July, Denny Lane, ex-guitarist in the Bloody Mules, is telephoned by Paul, who asks him what he's doing at the moment. "Nothing," replies Mules, tucking it back in his shorts. "Want to be in my band?" asked Paul. "Who else is in it?" "Me. If you get rid of him, I'm in." Eventually, Paul is able to get the out-of-work Strumabout to join his fledgling group, although negotiations are protracted and intense. Paul: "I have money." Lane: "I'm in." Paul is asked why he has chosen this particular guitarist out of the many other candidates. Paul: "I'd written a song about him when I was in the Fabbles." Interviewer: "Oh yes, there's a waxer showing photographs of every minge she's had the pleasure to plough." Paul: "No? Mother Lena's son." Late July. Paul and the prospective musicians for his new band hold top secret rehearsals in the centre circle of Anfield Football Stadium during a cup semi-final. That is my spoofing the fact that whenever Paul kind of does anything, there always seems to be 100 journalists around, Anyway, nothing against him, it's the nature of the business stuff, and, we all know what John got up to in 69, 70, Anyway, Paul interrupts the proceedings briefly to say to the 129 journalists present who had received a card saying, under no circumstances be at Anfield Stadium Saturday at 3:15 p.m, love ex-Fabble Paul, that I deny I am a shameless media manipulator and attention hog. As he says it via a skywriting service, many remain unconvinced. When asked how things are going with the musicians, Paul replies, superb, I've sacked 26 of them today alone. It's just like the old days. 31 July. Jim speaks candidly to the UK music newspaper New Icicle Express. The thing with Paul is he wants all the action and the hanger it came on. It's like Cluedo, only with real people. He killed Bongo in the pantry with a frozen aardvark last week, or so Nunu tells me, and I believe everything she says. Like when she said, these mushrooms are really good, Jim, have another handful. I'm just going to cut the lines to the telephone, only for security purposes. Not that I got to try any of them. Claudio snapped for them all before I could get to the table. You don't know anyone that wants a bright yellow stiff as concrete tree ornament, do you? August. Bongo records the title song to the film Blind Sam. A deep thought-provoking blues. It is sadly never released as a single. Of course then I do the spoof song, so Blind Sam thought it was a sausage. Blind Sam, he was wrong. Blind Sam was standing next to Pervy Dave, who put tomato relish on his dong. Okay, that's it for this bit here. So this is the Fabbles book. This is the Fabbles book, camera number 2.